palace has grown quiet, not peaceful, quiet in the way the desert is quiet before a storm finally dies. Beyond these walls, Alexandria still breathes. Merchants bargain, children laugh, the sea wind drifts through the shutters. It amazes me how ordinary life remains during the death of a kingdom. I once believed I could stop Rome. Perhaps for a time I did. Tonight I think of my childhood, of palace halls filled with whispers and poison hidden behind smiles. I learned young that mercy without caution was often another path to death. So I became sharper than those around me expected. Rome believed a woman could be manipulated. Egypt feared a woman who could rule. Men desired me because they mistook fascination for power. I allowed them their illusions, but I was a queen before I was ever a lover. When I met Julius Caesar, I recognized what made him dangerous. Not intelligence, certainty. He moved through the world as if destiny had already chosen him. More importantly, he listened to me as one ruler listens to another. Together we imagined Egypt might stand beside Rome rather than beneath it. Then Rome murdered him, and I felt history itself shift beneath my feet. After Caesar came Mark Antony. He was fire where Caesar had been steel. The Romans will claim I bewitched him. The truth is simpler. They cannot accept that one of their greatest men chose loyalty and love over empire. But even Antony could not stop what was coming. Augustus is different. Caesar possessed vision. Antony possessed passion. Octavian possesses patience. That is far more dangerous. He will rule Rome, perhaps the world, and he would parade me through Roman streets in chains. No, I was born a queen. I will not die a captive. Today I walked through the palace one final time. These halls once held philosophers, poets, diplomats, and scholars. Alexandria was the center of civilization. Ships came from every corner of the world. Knowledge filled our libraries like an ocean. Now Rome inherits the ashes. How fragile greatness is. Empires seem eternal until suddenly they become stories. The perfumes burning tonight remind me of the Nile, of temple ceremonies, of Egypt as I first knew it. I do not know whether the gods truly watch us. Perhaps they only observe. The basket waits nearby. Such a small thing to carry the end of a dynasty. I will confess something I have admitted nowhere else. I am afraid, not of pain. I am afraid of disappearing. Afraid my children will suffer. Afraid Rome will write my story for me. Afraid future generations will remember only my beauty and not my mind. I spoke many languages, governed through famine and civil war, negotiated with the most powerful men alive. Yet I fear history will reduce me to seduction because it is easier than acknowledging a woman who ruled. Still, despite everything, I loved Egypt more deeply than any person. I loved the Nile at sunrise, the scent of reeds after flood in season, the temples glowing beneath torchlight, the markets crowded with voices from distant lands. This land became part of my soul, and tonight I leave it behind. Perhaps Antony waits beyond this world, perhaps Caesar, perhaps all rulers stand equal in death, or perhaps there is only darkness. If these are my final words, let them remain true. I was Cleopatra. I was not merely a woman men desired. I was a ruler. I was Egypt. Now I see my life clearly. I see the frightened child pretending to be strong, the compromises, the triumphs, the mistakes. I fought not merely enemies, but time itself. The world was changing long before I understood it. The old kingdoms were dying. Rome was becoming something larger and colder than anything that came before. No one could have stopped it, not even me. Yet I mattered more than I feared and less than I once believed. empires crumble, armies vanish, kings and queens become dust. But stories endure. Rome tried to transform me into a temptress because powerful women make history uncomfortable. They reduced strategy into seduction because it was easier than admitting a woman had challenged them as an equal. Yet they could never erase me. My name survived Rome itself. Long after Augustus turned to ash, people still spoke of Cleopatra. Some hated me, some romanticized me, most misunderstood me, but they remembered. And perhaps remembrance is the closest thing to immortality humanity is ever granted.